came here to build the new Chicano movement. That's what we came here for. We came here to build the new Chicano movement. That's what we came here for.
Hey everyone, it's Miguel. Welcome to another episode of the Sports as a Weapon podcast, a Chicano sports podcast on the entanglement of sports, radical politics, and working class sports fan culture. And don't worry, we talk about just sports too. Today we got a good topic. It'll probably get very interesting. We're going to talk about the Dodgers and the whole Guggenheim, the owners, Mark Walter, their connection, not directly with ICE, but indirectly with the investments and all that. We're going to get into that topic. That's been very a big topic, especially with in SoCal with Dodger fans and activist groups and everything that's been happening around, the ICE raids, kidnapping people, especially since the summer. I'm glad to have a returning guest on the podcast. Get into that right now. Let me do my little spiel about the podcast and Anticonquista, and then I'll introduce you to our guest. Sports as a Weapon is part of the Anticonquista Media Collective Network. Anticonquista is an anti-imperialist media collective. Our content is produced by and for the Latin American and Caribbean diaspora. We're dedicated to exposing and fighting the capitalist imperialist system, the root cause of our displacement. Subscribe to the Anticonquista Patreon at patreon.com/Anticonquista and follow Anticonquista on YouTube, Twitter, X, and Instagram. Also, be sure to subscribe to the Sports as a Weapon podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. And now we're on YouTube doing video episodes. And then you can follow us on Spotify, listen on those platforms, but also on social media, Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram. Also have a Blue Sky. I don't really use it, but glad to have our guest on. He's a returning guest, journalist, comrade of ours from SoCal, from LA. Abraham Marquez is a freelance writer from Inglewood, California, and a National Association of Hispanic Journalists member. He is a 2021 USC Amberg Center for Health Journalism Fellow. He's reported from Tijuana, Nicaragua, Guatemala, Honduras, and writes about social movements, immigration, politics, and sports. He currently has a Substack. He just wrote something good on, I think, Venezuela and what's happening with U.S. imperialism, probably likely attacking Venezuela very soon. Check out that article in his Substack at abemarquez.substack.com. He's also a contributor for LA Taco and the Southland, and among other publications. Welcome back to the show, homie. Thank you for coming on.
No, thank you, man. Thank you for inviting and for being patient. We've been going back and this for 2 months now.
Busy lives.
Yeah.
You're busy, I'm busy, everyone's busy. Fucking capitalism, right? But
for sure.
You're one of the people I thought of to talk about this topic. Plus, we're wanting to record and do something. Anything else you want to add to what you've been doing with your work, journalism work?
No, man. You hit it right on the nail, man. Thank you for the introduction.
Cool. And so I also wanted to have Abraham on the show because he's from LA. LA sports fan. He grew up in LA. I'm from SoCal, but I'm from the IE. But let's get into this topic because it's something, especially after the Dodgers won the World Series, something I've been wanting to talk to, even like we said earlier when shit happened in June.
Mm-hmm.
We were one of the first people I thought of to talk about this topic. We'll get into it. You wrote some couple articles about the Dodgers. You won one in April. We'll get into that one as well. But first, Capitalism and Guggenheim partners, Guggenheim Baseball. Anything you want to say about that? Those connections with Guggenheim, capitalism, that topic.
The contradictions, right, of living under capitalism and trying to navigate and survive and still have some enjoyment and being attached to the sports. But But yeah, when the report came out that his company had, I think it's like close to like 1%, right? It's like a connection to the GEO group, which is, pretty well known for human rights abuses for undocumented community in Adelanto and across other parts too. Um, it was kind of surprised, but also not shocking, just because billionaires don't become billionaires by being social justice warriors, right? They're class traders, man. They've made their money off of the labor of other people. So that part of it, I was kind of not surprised. The other part, it was like, you know, almost, I think all the soccer teams made a statement. So to
Yeah,
not even,
LAF City did, right? From LA.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like to even not even come out with a statement in solidarity, like the bare minimum, right? Like they couldn't even do that. It was just like, oh, we're gonna donate $1 million to the city to help, and it's like,
Yeah, and it took a while. It was like a week or two until after they said something. And if people don't remember, this is like around June this year, June 2025, right when those big raids started
June
happening.
6th, that
Yeah,
Friday started.
yep, it was around that time. And then the ICE was staging like at one of the parking lots at Dodger Stadium, right?
Yeah, so they rolled up to the stadium. The official word was that the Dodgers organization denied them access to the parking lot. If you're familiar with Dodger Stadium, you know there's still like what sometimes people think like the streets around it are the parking lot are is Dodger Stadium, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah, it gets confusing.
yeah. So they couldn't get in, so they were kind of forced to like settle outside, which kind of to any bypasser kind of looks like they're setting up at Dodger Stadium. Um, but to even think that ICE thought they can just roll up in there and use their parking lot and not have to ask for permission or just like, oh yeah, they're gonna be okay with it. Like that part of me too is also kind of like arrogant. It's just on their end, like,
Yeah,
oh yeah,
like
we're gonna.
so I don't even think the Dodgers. It seems like from the facts we got, I don't think
Yeah,
they like let them come there. But
yeah, that's it. He said they denied him,
yeah, they did
but
deny him. But then I thought maybe ICE they probably did that because they know like it's gonna piss people off,
oh
right? Yep.
for sure.
But there was a lot of misinformation at that time. I remember bringing it up, and I'm like, I'm not trying to defend the Dodgers. I'm trying to get the right info here.
Yeah, but the owners they've been protesting the owner for the longest
Before this,
because he's the owner of the Galaxy, and they had did some shit at the Galaxy games where you weren't allowed to have like a sign in support of immigrants.
oh yeah,
So
yeah, and then I think they also now they own the Lakers.
yeah,
Recently bought them like record 10 billion.
yeah,
I think they also own the Sparks.
hmm
Yeah, and then this recent thing. So another recent parking lot thing happened after the World Series parade after the Dodgers won. Right the next day, I think it was after because the parade was on Monday.
yeah.
Right
It was
after,
after the parade.
yeah, it was November 3rd and then I think November 4th. The next day is when ICE was also at the parking lot. But that's also created confusion because people are like, oh, it's the Dodger parking lots. But like you're saying, there's other parking lots that aren't technically part of the Dodger Stadium parking lot because if you've been to Dodger Stadium,
So
right, you got to go it's on a hill,
yeah, but I
um,
think the one after the parade was inside the stadium.
okay, and then that's when the fire department was having some event, and I think that's where LA Taco talked to someone, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, saying
I remember seeing.
that they weren't, at least they were there for their event. The fire because
Yeah.
LA because they have a station right there on by Dodger Stadium by the
Mhm.
park,
Mhm.
Lewiston Park. I think it was parking lot 13. And then the
Mhm.
other thing that makes it confusing is some of those parking lots aren't like they're like part owned by the Dodgers, but also Frank McCourt, the former owner, owns some of these
Mhm.
lots. So I was
Mhm.
looking that up, trying to look up the info on who's the owners, and yeah, at least Dodgers has some part ownership because of one of those. It was like Hastings LLC when I looked it up on the Secretary of State, and it was
Mhm.
connected to Dodgers, but it was no more details. So, but it's
Mm.
probably with Frank McCourt also, the former owner.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think that's the part he didn't sell. Right, was like the parking lot
Yeah, so there
where
was
he's.
confusion, shit, but Dodgers, where they fucked up really is that first time in June when they didn't say shit. for
Well,
over a
actually,
week.
if you go back to April for even going to the
Oh
White
yeah,
House.
let's talk about that. So that's part of the topics we're going to talk about. Some of the subtopics of this larger topic. But you wrote an article on your Substack, and then I think LA Taco might have published it, or someone else did, or later.
Yes, yeah, because
Talk about that.
it was kind of like bizarre to see Dave Roberts, Mookie Betts, a lot of the players who in 2016 and 17 and 18 they were very outspoken against Trump, and rightfully so, right? I mean, it doesn't take them, someone with the fully developed brain to be like, oh yeah, I hate Trump. Like, dude, this guy is a terrible person. Um, to be completely against Trump and then 5 years later or 7 years later, just completely quiet, you know, showed up obedient and go to the White House and shake hands and just not even like completely turn, right? Complete 180. Um, and for me, I just like, they got the talk from above was to shut up and play,
It's the
which
shut
is
up
the
and
tip.
dribble, but this time shut
Shut
up
up and
and
dribble.
hit the
Yep.
ball.
Yep. Yeah. No politics involved. And if you look at what's been happening in LA for the last year, for them to not provide for them not to even be vocal or any kind of messaging to show support to the people that are in LA dealing with the fires, dealing with the ICE raids. LA has showed out close to, some rallies were close to 40, 50,000 people for Palestine, record numbers, right? Watching the live stream genocide, and none of them can say anything. Like, I find that really bizarre. Like, I find like that's intentional. Like, they were told you're going to lose everything that you have if you voice a political
And then this
opinion.
is like pretty early in Trump's
Mm-hmm.
second presidency, because this is April right when the
Mm-hmm.
season starts. Um, and yeah, like you're saying, because you mentioned this in your article, and I remember when this happened when Mookie Betts, when he was on the Red Sox before he got traded to the
Mm-hmm.
Dodgers, they beat the Dodgers in the 2018 World Series. He didn't go to the White House. He
Mm-hmm.
purposely didn't go because Trump was president. Like, he took a stand,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then when
Mm-hmm.
Dodgers won, like you're saying, Dave Roberts didn't say anything this time. In 2020, he was also like, I'm not going to go to the White House. And they didn't end up going, I think, back then because of COVID. But maybe they did. I don't, because then Biden became president later on. It
Mm-hmm.
was 2020, COVID happened. They were playing with
I
no
think
fans. Yeah,
yeah, I
the
think they
election
went
was
with.
like a month later, right, when Biden wins. So they might have went. I don't even remember. They might have went to the White House, but because Trump wasn't there anymore. Not that Biden
Mm-hmm.
much better, but like I think they did end up going because Trump wasn't there. But I remember them saying, "We're not going if Trump goes, or if
Mm-hmm.
he's there, or whatever." Right. But this time, there's silence. They don't say anything. I remember they even asked Dave Roberts. I think there was someone asked him in the press about
Mm-hmm.
it, and he pretty much said no comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he literally, dude, he could have he still could have said something without having to say too much. Like, but he literally
Yeah.
just said no comment. Like he didn't even try. And the only player I remember saying anything is Bruce Stark Gratterall. He didn't. He made a post like on Instagram. Pretty much, this is my beautiful brown house. Like pretty much talking
Yeah.
shit, right? He was like one of the only ones that stood up, and he's from
And
Venezuela, so
Venezuela too. Yeah. So, yeah, it's you know, to me, it just completely reeks of they got the talk from the top down. So, to shut up and play. Like, don't talk politics. Don't mention any of this. It's going to potentially ruin your career. So we'll see if Geeka comes back, because he's a free agent, right?
yep. And he's the only one during the season after I think it was in June, after all this
Mm-hmm.
stuff's happening, right? He's the only one that actually said something. I think maybe even Rojas did. I don't remember, but Kike for
Mm-hmm.
sure like made a statement. So he's one of the ones that wasn't afraid to say. And it's not like they made the most radical statement, but like you could just make a very simple liberal type of statement, still be better,
Yeah,
right?
we're not asking you to do the revolution.
Yeah, we're not asking them to be like Muhammad Ali or Kaepernick here.
Yeah.
Right.
Just show some sign of class consciousness and solidarity,
In your
right?
article that you did in April when they visited the White House, you even pointed out the different board of directors that are part of the Dodgers, right? So
Oh,
Mark
yeah.
Walter is the chairman, the main owner from Guggenheim. Obviously, Magic Johnson's part of that ownership. But you mentioned some of these board of directors, and you even pointed out like Mark Walter donated to Obama. So it's not he's pretty much the classic liberal, like capitalist.
He's classic capitalist.
Yeah,
He
so
understands.
he's not even technically like a MAGA guy. But
No.
he's a capitalist. So right, they're all gonna play both sides, even if they might be
Yeah,
liberal.
yeah,
Because when you read his bio, he's like, oh, he's a philanthropist. He's all this, the typical stuff that usually a liberal will point out, right? He
yeah.
got foundation, so he's not even a MAGA, but
He's a typical capitalist.
yeah,
He
a
just
typical
wants the system
capitalist.
to, yeah, wants the system to keep functioning the way it is, so he can keep making his money. He doesn't want anything to disrupt and mess with, the machine that he has created in the empire. Um, and you can see it that where their money lines, right? Because I think some of the people that are on the board are also like part of like this like Friends of Israel
Oh yeah, so
groups.
I got it right here in my notes. In your
Yeah.
article, you mentioned that lady, the one with Israel connections on the Dodgers board of
Hmm.
directors. Her name's
Yeah.
Emily Greenspan. She is a member of Dodgers Foundation board. So that's the Dodgers like nonprofit.
Hmm.
They every year I think they do some like charity with ping pong with Kershaw's
Hmm.
nonprofit, right? They do like a ping
Yeah.
pong tournament. But yeah, this
Yeah.
lady, she's an active supporter of the American Friends of the Israel Museum. She's obviously Zionist, Israeli
Mhm.
supporter, right? And then I
Yeah.
remember back, I think this when you came on the last time you were on my show, like right when the genocide started. Not
Hmm.
well, it's been going way before that if we want to go back, but right when after October 7th, right?
Yeah.
Dodgers, they did Dodgers, LeBron, all these other people made like that statement supporting Israel,
Hmm.
falling for the bullshit propaganda and be like, oh, they got attacked by terrorists, Hamas, all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
That was back
That
then.
there was a few things that kind of really like it didn't shock me, but just kind of more like, oh shit, like just like how centralized
Hmm.
the powers that be are, because every organization had released almost the same comment. I mean, the same statement, right? I feel like all the owners and like their social media groups are all like on one group
They're
chat.
all aligned, yeah. They're all like on one. Well, they are all
Yeah,
aligned
like hey, here, everyone post this for Israel.
because it wasn't just MLB, NFL, NBA.
Yeah,
And then obviously some owners from certain sports teams have like clear Zionist connections, like the owner from the Minnesota Vikings, Ziggy Wolf, I think. He's a
yeah, and then
Zionist.
the Mavericks too.
The Mavericks owner, Miriam Adelson, which will be a future episode, hopefully. Confirming the guest for that one. But I want to do
Okay.
that one too. Miriam Adelson, who bought the team from Mark Cuban a couple years ago. She's
Hmm.
actually one of the biggest funders of Israel, not just like in the whole world, like not just that she's
Yeah,
related to
no, no,
sports.
she's
Yeah, and then people didn't know her husband, I forgot his first name, but he passed away. But he's the guy that owns the casinos that they own, right, in Vegas, the Sands Corporation or something. That's where they make
I
a
don't
lot
know.
of their money, right? Yeah, I forgot his first name. The husband. That's how she got more into the husband's the one that owned their companies. Can't remember his name right now, but he was one of the big reasons the Raiders ended up moving to Vegas. That was making sure they would get the vote for the funding and all that. And he was supposed to get like some type of percentage with the Raiders with the stadium or like ownership or something. And Mark Davis like backstabbed him. And he got mad and like yeah, he didn't get it. But if you want to go back to just not MLB, like this who was trying to get into sports just by trying to get the Raiders to Vegas. And this is like 2018.
That's wild.
Yeah, and then I knew it was Israeli and the Zionists back then, but didn't know it was they were this much deep into like funding the Zionist project. But it goes, yeah, the husband was like trying to get the Raiders. So even when I'm a Raider fan,
The
um,
webs are deep, man. The webs are deep.
yeah, the webs are deep. There's other owners too. I know the Miami Heat owner is like a Zionist, Mickey Arlson, I think. So they're all deep in sports. Well, there's a lot of capitalists, both parties. They're all connected to Israel in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and it's crazy to see how like the the normalization with Israel and how they're using like the Western culture and sports world going in deeper into like mainstream in like in Saudi Arabia and it's so bizarre how the sports world is like interconnected to a lot of these like billionaires who are Zionists.
Hmm. And then like kind of those capitalists all stick together, and some of them are Zionists, right? So,
Yeah. It's fucking crazy.
I know when you mentioned Guggenheim and how they're invested in Palantir, I think it was like
Hmm
30 million. They're also, like you're saying, invested in Geo Group. I know there's a lot of misinformation out there about it, like on the money. Like I know I see
hmm
some social media like platforms pages like saying, "Oh, the Dodgers invested billions," but that's not true. And they own like Guggenheim's like those ones that manage assets portfolios, right? I think they're
hmm
worth like 300 billion or something like that, right? That they manage. I think you wrote that in
Yeah.
an article back in when you did the April one about Trump, yeah, which is a lot. But I just want to get people to get the right info. They
hmm
are invested in Geo Group, but it's not billions of dollars. It's like the percentage of whatever the man. It's like you said is under 1%. It's like 0.38% from what I looked up. I'll put
Yeah,
the
I think
links
that's
on
what I got.
articles for this for people to look it up. Yeah, and since it comes out to like 12 million or 20 million or something like that,
Hmm
which is still bad. Want them to divest from it, but like it's not billions. Yeah, you got to
Yeah.
get the right numbers. But what else? Also, well, there's a lot of talk now that because Dodgers won the World Series again.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Like, I know some full disclosure, people probably already know I'm a Dodgers fan. I'm trying. There's going to be some bias and contradictions because I'm a fan, right? But doesn't mean I could always critique the owner. Fuck the owner, right? I
Yeah.
just my thing is that like I've been talking online. Some people that follow me, like I just don't like attacking all the fans, like everybody. We want to get people on our side, but if we just keep shitting on them, like it's not gonna work. Like I've done that before. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
People just get mad at you, don't listen to you, right? I saw some
Yeah.
video like people posting. I think some guy was recording interview people at the parade, and he was like trolling people. And I don't even remember where I saw this. I saw the video going on. I don't think he was in part of a group or anything. He was like
Yeah.
recording and going around, and he was just like, "Oh, you support the." Then he was just like trolling them, making fun of them. Even did it to some
hmm
little kid. I'm like, dude, the
I
kid
think
ain't
I
knowing
saw it.
what's happening, man. When I was a
Yeah,
kid,
I
I
think I
had no
saw it.
idea. I would just like
There's
the
people.
teams, right?
Yeah, there was people there with signs with pictures of the owner
Yeah, yeah.
and
Protest
saying,
signs.
yeah, they had like he's investing in the detention centers or making millions out of ICE. And I think in one of the videos that I saw, they were positioned like in the front. So like he for sure saw them, like the way the video
Oh, during
showed.
the parade when they're like in the front of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and you just kind of see him go like smiling. And he's like, kind of like, oh shit, that they got his attention, which you know he should fucking see that. And
Yeah, and then
I
I think when they won the World Series and they do the trophy presentation, what's annoying is in every sport they always give it to the fucking owner first.
like, yeah, bro, you fucking trained for this shit.
Yeah, I know. Like you played in the game, but that tells
Yeah,
you that's like you're saying in your article from April when they visit the White House. That
yeah,
just shows the owner has the ultimate power, and what everyone says in the organization can make you shut up because it's your job. You don't want to lose your job.
hmm
We've all
hmm
had those dilemmas on working under capitalism,
hmm
right? So like, but that just shows you it's always the owners at the end of the day. Yeah, but I remember when they gave them the trophy, I was watching it, but I was like all excited. The Dodgers won, and then I was with my kid, like my
yeah,
fiance,
yeah,
so I wasn't really paying attention to the crowd. But I saw the video later, and a comrade had mentioned it. That's a Dodger fan
hmm
too. He's like he
hmm
got booed really pretty good when they gave him the trophy. So that
hell
just
yeah,
shows a lot of the fans know what's up, and they're like, we still like the Dodgers. This is our team, but fuck this,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, because of that, I'm not gonna stop like following baseball. Like I love the sport of itself. And then when I got into politics and history, it just became like a big love for me, because then I got to study more of the history, the racism behind it. That shit's existed since I mean, poor people created baseball. It's the rich people that fucking, you know, made money off of it. We were just playing it just because it's a fun sport.
And look who the best players come from now. They come from the global south. They come from the third
Yeah,
world, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So for me, it's like it's just another layer of trying to navigate living in this world. It's like, yeah, me and my girlfriend, we did our part, which is like last year, dude, we went to out of Canada a lot of games, because I live right here in Echo Park, so we can walk up to the game. So we went a lot. We would go to restaurants, bars to watch the World Series. We were heavily involved in like the culture of being a Dodger fan here. Um, and even for me, it was like I never lived here before, so it was pretty cool to be in like in the heart of Dodger Town, where
Well,
like
like because you live right close to the stadium, yeah.
yeah, so like right here, it's like you hear people talking about the game, everyone coming out in Dodger gear. I'm like, holy shit, I only see this in movies, But this year, when shit popped off in June, we're like, we're not gonna go to any more games. We didn't even watch like the end of the season, from June to the end of the season. I kept up like watching the scores on my phone. I don't really actually have like regular cable, so I can't even watch it anyways. And we didn't actually start paying attention until like the playoffs.
Yeah.
We are like, oh, okay, well, first of all, I didn't even think they were going to win it. I thought they were going to lose to the Phillies. Phillies have been playing really good all year, and I was like, yeah, they'll probably win a game or two, but Philly's going to take it. And when they beat the Phillies, I was like, oh, there's no one that can beat them in the National League now. Like, there's no one. And in the World Series against the Blue Jays, that shit was a really good baseball series in general. If Blue Jays would have won, I would have been as happy, because they deserved it. Play small ball, pitch really good. They just kind of didn't make it because they made a few errors, but
Yeah, Miguel Rojas
overall,
kind of ended all of it. They were
yeah,
right there, dude. I thought it was over. I was like, oh, it's 2 outs left.
yep,
Rojas
yep,
doesn't know him for, he doesn't hit homers. He's known for defense,
yeah, yeah.
right? I guess that's the cool thing about sports. You never know,
You never know, man.
right?
You just never. So,
But I said
um,
that for my past guests, so it's gonna be the next episode after this one. It's gonna be they're from Toronto. They're Blue Jays fans.
okay,
Yeah, so I want,
I'll be
if
pissed.
we would have lost, I would have been happy because like someone I know is a real Blue Jays fan, and like.
Yeah, yeah,
And I like Vladimir Guerrero. Like I like a lot of the players on Blue Jays. So if my team would have lost the Blue Jays, of course I don't want them to lose.
yeah,
I'd still be annoyed if we lost, but at least I lost to them. If it was the Yankees like last year, I would have been hella
yeah.
mad.
Fuck the Yankees. Yeah, but there was a lot of like, it was a hot topic and a debatable topic for months, which is, how do you support the Dodgers? How do you navigate this feeling of something you've loved and supported for most people for decades, right? For the rest of your whole life. And then, at the same time, you're dealing with the day-to-day terror of ICE raids and your neighborhoods being ripped apart, your friends and family members, people being their lives just being shattered because of these Gestapo-like, ICE agents. And then you understand, you learn that the Dodgers are somewhat invested in this. Even if it's not a full percent or 100%, they have some fingerprints in there. You're like, oh fuck, this is not good, right? You kind of you're kind of forced to live in two different worlds, right? Um, and so it was a topic that a lot of people kept talking about. And for me, I always try to use like history as like a consultant to understand the current situation, that there was, it's not the first time that we've had to deal with something like this, right? I mean, there's companies now that are financing and profiting off of the genocide in Palestine. And there's companies now that we use and drive in vehicles. Ford vehicles were, buddies with Hitler, right?
Yeah,
So
Henry Ford was a big old Hitler fan.
yeah,
They were
exactly.
friends.
A lot of finance companies. So it's just like, these are the contradictions that we live in by living under capitalism, and you have to understand that. But you still fight. You still fight and you still push because you want one of those players to be able to stand up, right? Like Colin Kaepernick, you know, he didn't become who he is now overnight, right? Like it didn't happen overnight. It happened because one, he had his own personal experience with racism, but also at the time, what was happening at the time? There was thousands of people in the street for Trayvon Martin, right? And then police
And when Trayvon
brutality.
Martin happened, that's when Kaepernick. That's like around the time he starts playing really good for Niners, and they go to the Super
Yeah,
Bowl and lose to the Ravens. It's around after that
yeah,
time. Then Michael Brown's right after that.
yeah,
They're like
and
the big ones, the big ones, the ones that got a lot of people
yeah, and you
outraged.
have the whole Miami Heat team post a photo with a hoodie on.
Yeah,
It's
and
not a
yep.
so it a lot of times it takes a big movement to to move them, right? If the people are at home and not pushing back and not trying to create awareness for this, then most of the time they can get away with nothing. But if the movement's big enough, you know, it can rattle some cages. Um, and with the Dodgers not even kind of showing any kind of verbal support with a statement, for me, I was like, you know, if Raza didn't buy a ticket or merchandise,
You wouldn't have any money.
how much you think that they would make, right? Like it just for me, it was like they were playing with fire.
It's like
It felt like,
over 50%, probably way higher. I saw some
yeah,
LA Times article saying it's like 50, 60%. I think it's higher. Like fan base is probably like almost 70% Latino, Chicano, Rasta, like Mexicano,
yeah,
like
yeah. So for me, it was like, damn, Dodgers might be playing with fire because these ice raids are live streamed every single day. We're watching it, um, and I was like, this they might just shoot themselves on the foot right here. But because of we have a unicorn and an alien in the team that is like must see baseball, which is Otani. Like it's hard for people who love baseball to not be like, hey, well, let me see what he's doing, right? Like it's you know it's a hard thing to navigate, but I don't blame people if they're watching it, and
yeah, I'm
just
not
like,
gonna get. My thing is, I'm not gonna get mad if you're boycotting Dodgers. Refuse to. Everyone makes their own decision on that. Only thing I get annoyed is when people are just attacking fans for liking the Dodgers for all this. As far as like, if we want to win people, I guess the hearts and minds, and try to get people to
mm-hmm,
understand what's happening, or as like some of us were anti-imperialists. I'm a Marxist, like all that. If you want to get people to that side, you don't want to just, especially a lot of people are very apolitical or don't know what's happening because they're not.
mm-hmm,
A lot of people aren't purposely ignorant. It's just the way we were brought up in this fucking
yeah,
country. Like I wasn't a radical like Marxist like
uh,
person when I was
yeah,
younger, right?
yeah,
Some of
you're
us
not a
weren't.
redneck.
Yeah, maybe some of us are lucky and have like family that was already like that and taught us, but not me, right?
Yeah, you're either a red diaper baby that you grew up in the movement because your parents were in it, and so you've been marching and understanding radical politics at a young age than most people have, or you became radicalized at some point in your life because something happened in your life, and you're like, wait, this shit doesn't make sense. Oh well, this is capitalism.
Like
There's an alternative to
to me,
socialism. So,
like my start was very started kind of when Oscar Grant got killed. As far as like
mm,
police violence, like before that, it's not that I liked police, like didn't like them, or I just didn't. It was more like I thought there was good cops kind of thing, and there's bad
hmm,
ones. Nah, I don't think that, but that was one of like the ones that like kind of like saw me things, especially. And then after Obama, like I voted for him in '08. I was still very
hmm,
liberal. I was younger
hmm,
back then. But then after I saw that he didn't do shit that he said, that also like how it radicalized me. Even Occupy, and then
hmm,
once Trayvon's like the big one. That one's
yeah,
the big one for me too.
yeah. I mean, you think of the 8 years under Obama. Look at all the social movements that were sparked under him, right? He inherited the anti-war movement. There was immigrant rights movement, right, because of his deportation machine. You had the indigenous movement with No Dapple. You had the Black Lives Matter movement. Gave birth to the Black Lives Matter movement in 2014. Um, Occupy. We had the economic crash.
Mm-hmm.
He inherited 2 wars with Iraq and Afghanistan and grew it into like 7 wars and started bombing Somalia and Sudan and put sanctions on Iran and he made the empire even bigger.
Yep. And then to even go further, when I was in high school is when the war in Iraq started, the second one. This is
Mhm,
2003. I'm a junior. My first protest was an anti-war protest. I was still a liberal though back then, Democrat.
mhm,
But this is what 2003, 2004 when I went to my first protest, anti-war protest.
mhm.
This is like 20 years ago. But I wasn't radical yet. Took a little while after that. But yeah, that's
Yeah,
the thing. Like a lot of people, just depends what opens your eyes to what's happening. Some people, it's never gonna happen. Just the way it
yeah,
is, right? So,
yeah. It is. You hope that people kind of
hmm
start being curious and try to question the system around them and police brutality or poverty, right? That's not meant. I mean, that's not a something that's natural to society. It's man-made. The reason that we're dealing with this fucking shit is because it's the system that is thrown on us. So yeah, man. To go back to the topic, I'm not gonna get upset if someone supports or doesn't support the Dodgers. I mean, at the end of the day, you're gonna do what you're gonna do for your own sanity.
I don't know. That's the thing that just been bugging me. I did a whole post on Facebook a couple weeks ago,
Uh huh.
and someone got mad at me in
Let
my
me tell you.
comments. Yeah, I don't know them too well. I'm not gonna say their name. Whatever. It's a brown beret dude that like had added me a couple months ago that I had mutual friends. But me and other people's argument was there's no real like way to be an ethical consumer under capitalism. You could do boycotts and all that, and I think they're effective. But everything's entangled. Capitalism is all its tentacles on everything, right?
Hmm.
So it's like it's too hard, like to do that. Like it's
Yeah.
more too idealist. But like I got it, but some of these people are also just not sports fans, so it's obviously easier for them to like be fuck you, fuck sports. Like I get it a little bit.
Hmm.
But the whole reason I did this podcast is to try to use sports as a vehicle to get people to talk about politics and all these issues because there's a lot of people are sports fans. Average people, it's like people like movies, people like music, right? Those are the other ways you could get people to like stuff. I guess starting this podcast, I've met people do things like do little podcast niches with Marxism and politics. Like
Hmm.
I remember there's some podcast, I can't remember the name of it, but it was like a video game one
Hmm.
and talking like kind of connect politics and like Marxism and all that to it.
That's
But
cool.
like that's right, but that's like the way to get people. You kind of have to
Yeah.
people. We don't want to make it boring, man. Like, oh, you want to be a mark, you can't like sports.
Yeah. Yeah.
When
They're connected.
capitalism's the main thing that makes it the problem. Like, we could have a future with sports where it's not controlled by capitalism. Like Cuba is a good example to show us. Like they've had baseball. They're one of the best baseball countries in the world, dude, and they've been under the imperialism's been wanting to fuck them up for like the last 60 years.
They're not even letting them play in the Olympics.
They didn't let him play in the Little League World Series this past
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
And
So
I did one of the last episodes I did after yours ones and before the last one I did. I
yeah.
did one. I interviewed someone from Cuba from Belly of the Beast because they finally allowed Cuba Little League team to play in the World Series, and then after that, I think they did it one more year. And this
Hmm.
past year, when Trump took power, he didn't let them again.
Which is it's like so bizarre and like fucked up that like you have the president denying these little kids to play in an international tournament. Like it's the power, right? We live in a democracy, right? And he can deny these kids the joy of playing baseball.
I think it's even counterproductive to even their whole shit where they're like, "Oh, fuck communism, fuck Cuba," but then you're not letting them come play over here, so they're gonna make
Mhm.
them. like Cuba even more. Like they're gonna be even. They're gonna
For
be like,
real.
what? All right, I'm down with
Yeah,
the revolution. Fuck you,
yeah, exactly.
right? Like you would
Yeah.
think they would want to like, because I remember the last time when I interviewed the dude from Belly of the Beast because they did a documentary on the first Cuban team to play at the Little League World Series.
Mhm,
One of the coaches defected when a lot of Cubans do that when they come,
mhm,
right? Which I don't even blame them. Whatever, you got to do what you got to do, right? Because the embargo, the sanctions, fuck a lot of shit up over there, make people keep poor.
mhm.
And people, but yeah, like one of the coaches and I think one of the players did, like, so even if you wanted it for your own cause to say you're against communism and Cuba's bad, like you could have let them play.
Yeah, it goes back to that
Doesn't make any sense.
saying when people, talk shit about communism and they say, "Oh, well, it never works." It's like, if it doesn't work, then why do you spend trillions of dollars every year to denounce it and trick people in invasions and sanctions? Like, just leave it alone. Let's see how it does,
Exactly.
right? Let's see how bad it is, right?
And
Uh,
then the hypocrisy of all that is when they ban countries, like, all right, they banned, I'm not for it, but when they banned Russia from the Olympics and all this other stuff and
mhm.
FIFA, but they haven't done it for Israel. There's a movement, a really loud movement to try to get Israel banned from the World Cup and the Olympics. It hasn't happened yet. Well, I think Israel's not going to make the World Cup anyways. They suck, but
Yeah,
they got eliminated. But
there's something that I've added to like a list in my brain of things to look into to write about, and that is, why in the hell is the Israeli national basketball team in the
oh
European
yeah, they're in the Euro League.
in the
Yeah,
Euro League? It's like, is Syria in there? Is Iraq in there? Is Iran in there? Like
and they
the
claim that the reason they have their land in Israel is because that's their ancestral land, which is bullshit. But that's their claim. But then they're still playing in the Euro League. They're not playing in the Middle East League or
Yeah,
Africa or something, right?
yeah, yeah. I find it really bizarre. I mean,
We
we
all
know
know why.
why. We know
We know
why,
why.
right? But to me, it's like,
The same
come
thing with
on.
soccer. They play in the Euro one for the qualifiers for
Oh,
World
that's
Cup.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
UEFA.
Oh man. Yeah.
Hey,
I'm
did you remember? Did you see that over the summer when it was the Euro League tournament and like Luca supposedly when he was playing Israel? I don't know if he did it on purpose, but I'd like to think he did. He was in the bathroom during the Israeli national anthem.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So he had to take a
Yeah, and he's trying to say, "Oh, I just had to go to the bathroom," like he was
yeah.
denying it.
He
But
dropped like
hey,
50
man, deep
on them.
down, he might have did it on purpose. I hope he did.
Yeah. I think low key was like, yeah, let me just not be here for this shit.
I'm like, it's easy for him to deny it. I think he did it though. Shout
Yeah,
out.
yeah. Didn't he drop like 40 or 50 on them?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh man. Hey, there's been a lot of that. I've seen that MMA guy beat the shit out of an Israeli fighter. There's been stuff like
yeah.
that.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, I did
See,
see
we could
that.
use sports for these things, man.
For
Even if it
real.
doesn't make a big old dent, like it's not geopolitics, but it could help with something.
Yeah, for real. Exactly. All you need is this little. I mean, isn't what's his name, Magli Ordonez? I don't know if he's in the
Wait, the former
PSUV.
Mets shortstop? Yeah.
I don't know if he's. I don't know if he is. I think he might be in a PSUV because he's like a mayor of a city in Venezuela. And he supports the government.
So
I
he supports Maduro and the
believe
Bolivarian
so.
Revolution.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, that's badass. I remember that fool. He's a good
yeah,
player.
I still have his card somewhere. But yeah, if you look it up one day, you trip out. I think he won re-election a couple years ago.
Yeah, he was. I think he was an outfielder.
Yeah, no, he was
Yeah,
third
yeah,
base.
third
Third base.
baseman. Yeah, I was thinking of another Ordonez that played for the Mets. That was Ray Ordonez, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, remember
yeah,
that guy?
yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
I,
nah,
and I,
he was better. This Ordonez was better
yeah, and I think he got like slammed because I was really into baseball during that time. But I think he got like slammed or,
because he was
um,
on the White Sox.
yeah, and I think he like made like the smallest gesture of supporting Chavez that like the media was like, oh my god, he
Oh,
supports.
they did that to the former manager of the Marlins and White Sox too, Ozzie
Yeah,
Guillen.
Ozzie Guillen too. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because he's from
yeah.
Venezuela.
Yeah, you show any little support, it's like, oh my god, and then they had to like walk their words back slowly to kind of like, oh yeah, I mean, well, I just support the people, I want the best, whatever liberal language they want to use to kind of keep their job. But you show any little sliver of support for, you know, these socialist groups,
And
and then
that's well, he was already one of my favorite players on the Dodgers, but Brusdar Graterol, like of course we mentioned it, he was one of the only ones to say something. He
yeah,
made a troll post talking shit about the White House. He said, "This is my beautiful brown house." Like,
yeah,
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 but he's from Venezuela. I'm guessing he's I'm not 100% obviously, but I'm guessing he supports the government. He
yeah.
doesn't say anything bad about him, and he did the
No,
MAGA. He said fuck Trump, so hopefully he does.
yeah, because even if you don't support the Maduro government, you
Like,
still if you
why would you want the U.S. to invade you? You know?
invade you. Yeah, exactly. Like you come from a working class neighborhood. You're not gonna support a Yankee invasion. Like you're just not. You're not. A right winger. But yeah. So now he probably supports Maduro
Yeah,
because
no,
of it.
and then Miguel Rojas is from Venezuela. I think he might
Yeah.
have said something when the ICE raids were happening. I don't remember. He could have, but hopefully he's cool like that too.
Hmm.
Um, and then you talk about that in your article in April. Um,
Hmm.
there's a lot of players on the Dodgers from the global South, just in baseball in general. Like, right, Cuba and Dominican Republic. Dodgers have Andy Pajes from Cuba. From
Hmm.
Venezuela, I think they have Enriquez, Rojas, and Graterol. They have Puerto Rican. Well, he's a free agent now. Kike Hernandez, one of the only ones who says something. And I think Kike knows what's up because he's from Puerto Rico. Like,
Oh, for sure, 100%.
I'm pretty sure he's down for independence.
Yeah, yeah. And
But
we don't
yeah,
know how Otani and Yamamoto and Sasaki feel, because I think during that time it was like the anniversary of us.
oh, when they went to the White House, huh? That was after they dropped when they dropped the
It's like
atomic bomb.
anniversary, so it's like, I'm sure
Someone in their family was affected by it back then. Like,
and your history, so
hmm
they're probably
they
like
teach
in
you.
there, going in there like, man, this is where they drew out the plans and they approved the plans to palm my homeland. Like you probably have
And
like a
then
good.
Sasaki, I know he went through something dramatic when he really bad and tragic when he was a kid. Like his dad, and when they had the big old earthquake and
Oh,
flooding.
really?
Yeah, like in 2011, 12. I remember I was an undergrad at that time.
Oh, wow.
Remember what I'm talking about? That big old tsunami after the big
Yeah, yeah.
earthquake. Yeah, I guess his dad and someone else had passed away. So
Wow.
like, he wasn't from he didn't come from like a rich family.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Yeah, so I always wondered what they were really thinking, like, but they just can't say shit because they don't want to get in trouble, like, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they all got the same talk. You know, you like that paycheck, you gotta.
And then doctors didn't even say nothing. I don't remember them saying anything. Remember that you wrote about it in an article when they took off, fuck the U.S. military, but when they took off the whole thing about the the history of black people in the military, and they took off the thing about Jackie Robinson.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think Dodgers said anything. I don't
No, they did.
remember.
They didn't.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's like
I know.
you would think they would say something for that. Like they
I
always
just
brag how they like integrated baseball,
Yeah, and
right?
then
And that's another example of sports and politics. Like, dude, that did a lot. That little thing of baseball did a lot for race. Like, not that things have changed too good, but like that was one of the things that really helped move the civil rights movement forward back then,
mhm,
right?
mhm.
So, we're
Yeah,
people that don't want to talk about sports and politics. They're always everything's connected to politics.
everything's connected
That's
to
what's so
politics.
frustrating. People need to
Yeah,
understand. Like
I
a lot
know.
of you, I know I'm preaching to the choir, but like
I know.
everything is connected to politics. Everything in our lives, like how much we get paid,
Yeah,
where we work, where we live, how much our car costs, how much our food costs. Like we're seeing that right now. How much food costs so much more. Like,
expensive. Yeah.
oh man. So
Yeah,
like,
it's always funny when I'm around some people and they're like, "Oh, I don't wanna talk politics." And I'm like, "Well, you brought it up." And then, like, they follow up with the next subject, which would be like, "Man, it's fucking everything's so expensive."
mhm.
Like, wait, you don't wanna talk politics, but you wanna talk about everything's expensive? Like, that doesn't make sense.
One of my best friends from back home, like he's not as political, more apolitical, but he'll say that sometimes. Oh man, I hate when I'm like, dude, everything's. I try to, I don't want to be like, I already know where they're at.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But then like, I'm like, dude, you're at your job, you were in a union, fool. That's politics. You know, like people don't. A lot of that's just Americans, man. They're like because we got conditioned from we were young to like worship capitalism and all these things, right? So like,
Yeah, and also politics is not like, I always get told, don't debate or don't get into debaters. I'm like, I don't debate people. I
and they
just
always say, "Oh, you're not supposed to talk about politics, religion, and money." I'm like, dude, they told you that whoever made that up is because they didn't want you to like figure
yeah,
shit out and organize.
yeah. And then politics, like I don't like. I love having conversations with people. Like most of the time, I'm just asking them questions. Like
Yeah, because you're a journalist.
yeah, and also like if they have, I've always been curious of like, oh, if they support whatever Democratic candidate or even Republican, whatever. I was like, oh, how did you come to this conclusion? Like, what is it about this person that really gets your attention? What policy? What history? You know, I'm always curious on that part. And a lot of times they can't get anything further than like sound bites that they heard here and there. And to me, it's just like, well, you should probably look more into it before you go gun ho on this candidate. So, um, but yeah, it's an uphill battle, but I don't mind being in that battle and talking to people about it.
Yeah, no, I'm always, I've lost so many, not that they're best friends or anything, but like people from high school, like on social media over the years, because you get too political and they just delete you. I'm like, yeah, I'm never gonna
Yeah,
stop.
exactly. Yeah, this
Well,
is
once my whole viewpoint changed of how I see the world, and I became more of a Marxist and more of a material analysis look at the world, like it's too hard to ignore it. Like it sucks
yeah,
sometimes. Sometimes you do got to take a break because shit's depressing. A
yeah,
lot of
100.
bad shit's happening. Like you were just talking before we started the recording. Like you took a little break for a little bit for social media.
Yeah, and I'm planning on doing it. I have a couple writing assignments that I need to get done, but I'm aiming to have it done by December 1st. So December, I can just kind of not have to be too bound down on writing and researching. But I think by being a Marxist and being a communist has helped me understand things as they unfold, and I'm not reacting to headlines and things popping off like with the Dodger stuff. Like I'm like, well,
This helps to not be as reactionary.
yeah. So like when the Dodger shit popped off, like a lot of people, even my girlfriend, like, why aren't you so pissed? I'm like, well, I it doesn't surprise me. I'm sure if you look at the portfolio of every sports
Yeah,
billionaire,
all these teams, man.
come on now. I mean, and
Doesn't matter.
look at the history of sports, right? Like this shit was existing while Africans were enslaved, as it
Yeah.
for the
Baseball got created like I think even before slavery ended.
yeah.
Or
So
like right after.
yeah. So this is like in like generational wealth for these guys, right? That they own these, you know, pool
Yeah, most of these
of
rich
workers.
billionaires are inherited their money, most of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
So for me, it's helped me kind of not be so angry and reactionary to things because it's just like how it is.
Look at
Uh,
the name of teams, like the Yankees, that has to do with politics, the name of a Yankee,
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
there's even like, let's just say the 49ers in football, their name is actually, a lot of attention came to the Washington football team Commanders when they were the racist named Redskins.
yeah. I mean,
But
and
there's
then
all other teams with those connections, like Niners. That's because there's named after the 49ers, the settlers that killed a lot of natives and Mexicans to get gold. Like
yeah, exactly.
it's
And
all
and
connected.
it's all connected. So, when the former owner of the Clippers, Donald Sterling, got exposed, you think the league didn't already know that he was a
Yeah,
racist?
he was already known for being racist
Yeah,
when it comes to
yeah.
discrimination. He's a
And
landlord
once the word got out, it's like, oh shit, now we have to do something, right?
because it went
And there was
public.
a movement behind it too. So you know, once you kind of fully understand it as a Marxist, you understand how shit involves, and you look at the history of it, so you don't get so pissed off and frustrated. And like, yeah, boycott it, yeah, fuck yeah, support it.
Even historically, like we're just Muhammad Ali, John
Hmm.
Carlos, Tommy Smith.
Yeah,
You can Jack Johnson when he beat a white guy like in boxing. That was like a big thing because of racism right back in like the early 1900s. Like
yeah.
there's all these examples of sports. Like it's always been there.
There's a book that I
Politics.
highly recommend, and I was trying, I had it here laying around somewhere. $40 million Slave.
I have that on the ebook.
Dude,
Mhm.
that book just kind of, uh, William Rodden, like, bro, even a lot of the rules that exist now in some of these sports exist because of racism, right? Because goaltending didn't exist in basketball until they started
No,
letting black people play and they were jumping up and blocking their shots. Like, oh, hey, you can't do that. That's against the rules. Like, what
in
rule?
college, I think one of the rules when Kareem was in college, they changed some rule, like, and then I know in college they wouldn't have the 3-point. Well, they changed the rule because of Kareem. Once he made the
Yeah,
NBA, this is the '60s. They wouldn't. College players couldn't dunk for like a few years until they changed
yeah,
the rules back.
yep, yeah. You got the jockey syndrome, right, where you're constantly moving the goalposts because this non-white athlete is better than the white athlete. So
Yeah, a
you,
lot of people don't really. It's not that it's a huge sport anymore. Back in the old days, it was way bigger horse racing. But most of the jockeys, a lot of them are Latinos.
yeah, Latino
Yep.
and black. So
Hmm.
racism is it's been around. It's been existing. Now, you know, do you still play the sport because there's racism, or like you're still gonna play? You're still gonna do your best and challenge and try to navigate the racist society that you live in, the racist system that you live in, and try to make it. And I support those athletes for doing that too. So yeah, man, it's. I'm glad you you got this platform to be able to talk about this.
Oh yeah, that's why we. That's why I'm back to doing it. Finally, I'm happy. I'm getting some help with editing. I'm not gonna shout out the comrade who's doing it yet. You don't want to credit yet, but maybe
Okay.
soon. But he's been helping me a lot, so now I'm gonna have more episodes. Um, back at it because last 2 years I only did like four. Like I did your episode, like right
Hmm.
after October 7th, 2023 happened.
Hmm.
Then I didn't do nothing for months, and then I did one on the Olympics and the Paris ones,
Hmm.
and then I stopped again until these last ones. Now I'm recording again, right?
Yeah, yeah,
A lot of happened. People know, like I have a kid now, so it's got
yeah, man.
harder.
Got
Yeah,
daddy duties.
yep. So now it's harder, but now I got someone helping with editing. Um,
Sweet.
yeah, so I'm really grateful for that person. Shout out to that comrade.
Yeah.
Once he wants to get credit, I'll give him credit.
Sweet, sweet,
He should have
sweet.
hold on
Yeah,
yet.
I'm
Yeah,
glad
you're
you're.
getting credit right now, man. He's helping me a lot. So,
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure you're gonna be busy coming up next year with the World Cup, and then you got the Olympics. So
yep, there's gonna be that. Well, there's even that was like Trump might like. There's gonna be countries that might like be able to go to the World Cup because of ICE stuff. They
yeah,
made the visas harder to get. Like,
dude, it just shows you the split within like the ruling class. Like they're
yeah,
not even.
because you would think they would want it for the money, and they're even arguing over that. Like, they're
Yeah, yeah. It's really bizarre to watch from afar, like the
like
ruling class fighting over each other.
yeah, and, like at the end of the day, Democrats, Republicans, they all serve capitalism,
Hmm.
right? Like, what we just saw the new mayor of New York. A lot of talk about that going on. He just met with Trump,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah,
So that
that was,
was I don't
that
know. What do you think about that?
um, yeah, I don't know, man. Well, full disclosure, I haven't seen like the whole thing. I just saw like those little sound bites that they have on social media. Um, but it looked like Trump was kind of like fanboying over him. Like he was just like so excited. I never seen him like he was so like laughing. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Like
Uh,
he was like, you could call me a fascist, all good.
yeah, yeah. He was just calling me that. I was like, oh my god, what is going on here?
Nandi, you could call me a fascist, and then like, I don't know.
Right?
It's an
Yeah,
interesting debate. Like I
yeah.
don't know. Like it's good and bad. He won because I'm not that hopeful because they sell out.
Well, I
It's
mean,
weird.
you can look at it. For me, I look at it two ways. One, his campaign resonated with millions of people.
Like take the positive of it.
Yeah, like affordability, like that's I think a topic on everyone's head across the country, and he
It doesn't
ran on
matter.
that.
Yeah, it
And
doesn't matter if you're MAGA or not.
yeah, and he had like a very concrete plan of how he's going to do it, which is, you know, I think should be mandatory for anyone that's going to run for office because every other politician has like these word salads of just nothing. right? Oh, we're just gonna, get better people in office, this and that. No, he had like, no, we're gonna tax this percent. This is gonna go here. This is gonna go there. So he had a very concrete plan. Um, the negative is you're a Democrat.
Hmm.
Nothing you can really do as a Democrat. You can't. It's gonna be an uphill battle for him. But maybe this is what he wanted, right? Like he could have ran as a third party, but he decided to do a Democrat because he wanted to be. I'm sure he wants he. I'm sure in his head he probably wants to be a career politician.
Like the
So
one hope I has is, oh, maybe he's just politicking because that's what you got to do when you get to that
yeah,
that
yeah,
level, right, with the politicians. But then the
yeah,
other hand, I'm like, oh, just another AOCIA or whatever,
yeah, yeah. And then
right?
like it fully exposed the establishment that like
Hmm.
free buses and daycare like scare the shit out of people. Like, oh fuck no,
And not
I'm
just basic, simple stuff like that.
like dude, yeah.
Everyone would, it would be a positive that happened. Like everyone would benefit.
And like his 2% tax on the rich was like exactly came from Biden's campaign. What Biden was when he was running for office was like, yeah, we're gonna do a 2% tax, and he had that press conference with all these billionaires saying that that famous quote came out when he told everyone nothing fundamentally is gonna change, and he was
Oh
only
yeah,
gonna raise a 2% tax bill. Like that's what he's running. That's what Mandini's running on, and it's like scaring people. It's like
it's like not even that
don't fuck
good.
our the establishment has become so right wing. I don't
But
want
the bare minimum scares them. The bare
yeah,
minimum
the
positive
bare
thing.
minimum. It's like yeah, so you can look at it at that as well. The obviously the nastiness was like the complete racist campaign against him as a Muslim, as an immigrant, um, you know, criticizing the way he eats and all this like different cultural things is just like, dude, we live in such a fucking racist society.
This is white supremacist society.
Yeah, complete, and yeah, so we'll see. We'll see
And
what
he
happens.
made the Democrats look stupid too, because Trump's being more like nice to him and happy while the same day these fools voted against socialism.
Yep, yep. And then none of the top Democrats wanted to endorse him until like the last second. They
And
saw that
then
he
I
was
think Schumer after this, I think it was this week, a couple days ago, or maybe it was the old video, but I just saw it and
yeah,
it was like him speaking at an APEC conference.
yeah. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens next. I think he goes in office in January. I mean, I don't live in New York, so I'm not gonna see the day-to-day changes. But
Exactly.
any like mishap, like if he has something that just doesn't go through, doesn't it's gonna get blown. It's gonna get shoved down everyone's throat that socialism doesn't work, and then we're gonna have to deal with that battle.
All right. So before we end this episode, any last thoughts on our what we've been talking about? Do you think Dodgers will? Do you think they're gonna go to the White House again? It'll probably be like in April, like this past year.
Yeah, they'll for sure go to the White House because I think the owner and you know the politicians and the establishment, he's one of the ruling class, right? So for sure they're going to go. Now it would be cool to see if a lot of players don't go. That would be nice to at least have some kind of like sign of solidarity and push back and say, yeah, I'm not going to go into the White House. But I think as a team, I think Dave Roberts will be there. The owner's going to be there, and I'm sure a big portion of the players will be there too.
And it's not even that some of them probably don't even like Trump. I'm sure there's a lot of white players on the Dodgers the last couple of years. I'm sure some of them are Trump fans. Not all of them, but like I'm sure a lot of them are.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
yeah, I think they're gonna go. I hope not. We'll see. There is some pressure from like groups like the Daily Labor Network that did that press conference.
Hmm.
Trying to do that campaign. Don't go to the White House. They already started that, so at least
Yeah,
that's good to see. There's some groups in LA um, doing that stuff,
yeah.
trying to get that pressure on them. But I ultimately think, because I just think because of capitalism, they're gonna end up going.
Hmm.
But hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully we're wrong and they don't go.
For real, that would be nice.
But yeah, that'll do it for this podcast. Wasn't too crazy. It was just it's just about Guggenheim. I wanted to talk about it and Dodgers and ice because it's been a hot topic since the summer, and then it came up again after the parade, with them ice showing up again by near Dodger Stadium. So I'm glad. Thank you for coming on and talk about it. Check out Abraham's Substack. I'll put the link in the show notes. I'll put some of his alley taco articles on there, and then other ones related to this topic that I found. There's even a couple LA Times ones I'll put in the link that I liked. There was one that Fidel Martinez wrote. It was about kind of like talking this topic about fandom and is it okay to go still watch the Dodgers even though you're obviously against ICE and all that. And I thought his article was good because he talked about the whole he's not even a Marxist, but like he even said there's no ethical consumption under capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
And he pointed out, like, dude, he's from Texas. He's like, I grew up a Cowboys fan. Like, I still like the Cowboys, but Jerry Jones sucks. Like,
Exactly.
right? He can't really help it. Jerry Jones, the freaking owner. I'm sure a lot of Cowboy fans wouldn't want him as the owner. Like, I know my fiance's a Cowboys. She wouldn't
Yeah.
want him to be an owner.
Yeah.
So like, right? So like, can't really. I don't know. I like the European model. Another one before we leave.
Mm-hmm.
Some comrade when we're talking about this topic, he's like, I like to follow like the European like supporters fan model because a lot of those fans they don't hate on all the people just for liking the team. Oh, you like this team because all these issues that's tied to the owner, right?
Mm-hmm.
What they do, they show up and they protest at the games and like we've seen all the Gaza images at all the football soccer matches since the genocide has happened. Like there's teams out there in Europe all the time and in Latin America doing that. That's we could take those ideas they do and do it over here. Like people have done it over here, it just doesn't happen as much.
Yep.
And they don't hate on people for liking the team because they understand like if it wasn't for the fans, there wouldn't be no team. They wouldn't make no money if it wasn't for us. Like, yeah, we're not the owners. We're not the ones making the money. We don't own the team. Maybe that's the goal though. One day we might own it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
When we own when we get when capitalism falls. Right. So
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a good thing in that he brought us. Like I like to think of like the European because there's more examples, of them protesting and stuff as compared to over here in the U.S. and the Imperial Core and stuff.
Yep.
But yeah, man, thank you to Abraham Marquez for coming on the podcast. Have you here again?
Yeah,
In
man.
the future, man.
You're the
Write
last.
it down. What's up? What'd you say? Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I said it won't be the last time I'll be on your show.
Damn right. Hell yeah. Let's go. All right, comrade.
All
Well,
right,
thank
boss.
you for coming on the podcast.